Okay.
Who's ready to kill some Nazis?
I'm ready to kill some Nazis. I'm ready to shoot some secret Nazis with my secret Nazi bullets.
Yeah.
Now fuck off and let me pee.
No references.
No, we need to go deeper with the references so nobody knows what we're talking about anymore.
I have a feeling that the people who are still following along just stopped.
I have the feeling that the people who are following along right now are people we know in real life because nobody else watches these.
Look, we can have dreams.
I don't dream anymore.
Well, stop being such a cynical old bastard.
No, it's because I have a horrible degenerative brain disease and I've lost the ability to dream.
Thomas, go see a doctor.
I have deep medical problems.
I don't even know if this is a joke anymore.
I don't know either. I'm getting worried. Anyway.
Anyway.
Feelings of mortality aside, today we're going to be killing a lot of people.
A lot of
them. And that is because the topic of today is Nazism. And why you should report the nearest Nazi to you to the proper authorities. Starting with the Sternritter, the Star Knights, the Vandenreich. They have many names. All of it dumb as hell.
All of them terrible, except the ones we like, because nepotism.
Because nepotism. Because we're the daddy in this case. We're the one who gave them the job. Yeah, so there was 26, 27, if we count the double that is yourself. But we're gonna pare it down with a pair of pruning shears until there's nothing but a bloody stump left. And how's it we're gonna do that, Trevor?
Kill them all, like God sort them out. We're basically just sticking with the bare essential Sternritter, the ones that actually got any sort of character development, the ones who had a decent enough power and weren't utterly obtrusive or fucking annoying to our sensibilities. Which was a lot of them. A lot of them were really annoying to our sensibilities.
Chief among them, technically we're going to be keeping that one. So the next one is Masked Masculine. He's going to die.
Gremmy.
He's going to die.
Oh, so many. Pepe
Wakabrada, or whatever his name was.
Yeah, Wakabrada. Half of the Thought Squad.
Half of the. Oh, I miss them so much, though.
Yeah, but we kept the most important members of the Thought Squad.
Yes, so but they were my Thought Squad. Damn it.
Combat, fucking Nazi combat thoughts.
I'm trying to remember who else.
Owlfuck.
He's gonna die. The wind asshole who had 2 tongues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Remember him? Do you remember him?
Barely.
I don't. Who are we talking about?
Remember the guy who stole Chojiro's Bankai and then got memed?
I'm sorry, speak up. I can't hear you over my prion disease. Anyway.
Yeah. But most of them are just gonna die due to the fact they didn't do anything in the story anyway. So
not enough that we cared about them, and it's gonna make the surviving few actually get a little bit more screen time. And I outlined this philosophy earlier in that the more we cut away from people we don't care about, the more we get to shovel into people that we do care about.
Mm-hmm.
So every chapter that involved Pepe Wakabrada, we get to now dedicate to, first on our list, not a great example because I also hate this guy, but we're also going to be rewriting him. Jugrim Hoshwalth.
Hoshwall, my boy. Oh, yep. Preempting this, we're only going to talk about the people we're keeping. We're not actually going to go through every single Stern Ritter. We're getting rid of them because they're dumb. Because that's a waste of our time.
We already gave a list of people that we're going to be killing. So Pepe, everybody I literally just mentioned. Oh, and Royd Lloyd and Lloyd Lloyd. The
Yeah.
more I don't get to see those people, the better.
So yeah, if we don't mention a Stern Ritter, they die.
They died. They died on the way back to their home planets.
Mm-hmm. But so Jugram, Oswald, the boy.
Okay, so actually, I rescind my earlier statement of I hate this guy. Because again, I forgot he wasn't Gerard Valkyrie, the other J guy. There's a lot of J's, man. There's a lot of
Yeah, when
J's.
you have 26 characters, you hit some of the letters a couple times. B's are going to be prominent too in this list.
B's are going to be prominent. But we'll get to Gerard Valkyrie. But yeah, actually, Jugram's okay in small doses.
Yeah, it's mostly that he was just kind of paced in the original.
He's kind of paced, and we're going to be changing that, but we'll also go over that when we get to the appropriate arc specific episode. Right now, we're just going to say, what did we do to the Stern Ritters? Actually, that's a great thing. There used to be 26 of them because they used to be based on the alphabet. So A, the Almighty, B, the Balance, C, the fucking cunt. I don't remember.
Compulsory.
Oh yeah, sure. I don't care anymore. I've already lost the attention span. But that's weird, Trevor. We only have 12. Are we still going to be basing them off of the alphabet?
Fuck no.
Oh, okay. So you have an idea?
Yeah. So originally, when we were workshopping this over text, we had thought of the method of, hey, since they're the Star Knights, let's base them on the zodiac star signs. And then I set to work doing that. I put my nose to the grindstone and I looked at the symbolic meanings and the pairings and how they all set up, trying to make something actually meaningful. And then I realized that like not even half of those star signs
a little Trevor fact. He just loves astrology. Loves astrology.
I actually hate it.
Loves healing crystals. Loves essential oils.
No.
He's really in tune with nature.
I will kill you.
And anyway, the more coupons for essential oils you email him, the better. I will put his email in the description below. You get to send him directly yourself.
Is this how you're going to send me Hogwarts letters in real life, Thomas?
Yes.
Those coupons?
Oil coupons.
Anyway.
I love you, Trevor. Don't die.
So I realized that that wasn't going to work because there was like a couple that I squinted and they worked, but most of them didn't work. Like, what am I going to do with Sagittarius, the archer? They're Quincies. They're all archers.
But one of them is more archer than the others, Trevor. Actually, a couple of them are. Okay, point taken.
Like, bad example, but Hoshwalt actually works. He's Libra, the scales, balance. Yay, it works. But, like, most of them don't. So I broadened my horizons to just constellations. Just they get their powers from constellations, and they get their titles from constellations. Hooray. That's the main change that I did. And we kind of dabbled, but we didn't. I don't think we actually settled on an exact thing with this. But maybe instead of having a shrift inscribed upon their soul, Yawak, who would be represented by the Northern Star, of which all other constellations revolve, unless you're a scientist and a fucking pedant, but we're not getting into that.
I am. I'm one of those.
Yawak instead allows them to tap into the true nature of the constellation, and from that they gain their powers.
Because at the end of the day, what are constellations other than space hollows?
Sure.
Look, if you follow the notes and if you follow the paper trail, you realize what Kubo was going for the entire time.
I feel like you're parodying us.
I am not. I am 100% serious. If you just look at the notes right here, you'll see.
This is
Space,
just
the final frontier.
this is just bubble gum, a piece of string.
Look, I worked really hard on those notes.
I don't think you did.
I couldn't see through my glaucoma.
Now you have glaucoma?
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Look, I'm Eric the Brainstem, man. Leave me alone.
Oh, I will make you work on this Bleach PowerPoint until you die.
I'm gonna die in like 2 weeks. Leave me alone.
Then get to work.
Fuck you.
Anyway, memes.
But yeah,
Oh,
so he's just gonna inscribe onto them space powers.
yeah. And so let's go back to Jugrim Hodgewolf. He's okay. He's kind of inoffensive. We're gonna be expanding his character. He remains have the power of the balance, and thus he is ascribed the constellation of Libra, the scales. Short, simple, to the point.
Yep.
On that one.
I follow the logic
Now,
completely.
yep. Then we move on to the position held by Gerard Valkyrie. Now, I fought to put Gerard Valkyrie in this series, not because I liked him or that I think he's acceptable as a fucking concept, because he's not. He's probably one of the most egregious problems with the last third of the Blood War arc. Fuck Gerard Valkyrie. But I really want to see him get punked really hard, and I've made a scene for it. So he's in temporarily. He hits so many asterisks. His power is the miracle. Basically, any damage that's dealt upon him, it just makes him more huge and powerful. But unlike in the original run, he's not going to be able to do that indefinitely. If he is killed in one shot, like either being decapitated, atomized into a pulp, what have you, he's just dead. He just dies.
Yeah.
He is represented by Aquila, the eagle constellation, and this spot is also going to be held by our resident Nazi youth, Uryu. And we'll get into Uryu later.
Yeah, there's gonna be a running thread with Uryu throughout the entirety of post Hueco Mundo and Aizen. Pretty much the second that Aizen stops, there's going to be a couple of breather arcs, very small breather arcs, but throughout that we're going to set up Uryu and his full transition into Nazi youth captain. But we're gonna set him up.
Yep. But for our purposes, he is also going to have the power of the miracle, but it's going to be different. I haven't decided how it's going to be different yet. But he is also under the constellation of Aquila. Pernitas Parking Jaws, another character we both really liked because he's kooky and weird, and I like him. And he has a great fight with Fuckhammer on face Mayuri.
Yeah.
Your degenerative brain disease is spreading to me. Sorry.
Good. It's spreading through the mic as I instructed it to. Yeah, so Pernitas Parking Joss, he's gonna basically be completely untouched, and as a matter of fact, I think that fight is going to be completely untouched, just because, again, that's a really solid fight, and that's one of the few saving graces of that entire Blood War arc.
Mayuri makes a lot of things good.
He does. Which is, again... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, because we're not going to be bringing him along. Or are we?
Who are we not bringing along?
Mayuri into Hueco Mundo for his fight with Xylopero.
Okay, because Xylopero is on Team Bargon now, he's going to be in the invasion force.
Right. Okay. Yeah. We did go with that. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to remember how we did that because, fuck, I don't remember things.
So that fight still exists, but it's recontextualized to being somewhere else.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll still take it. Next is Naklavar, our other golden boy.
Our beautiful son. No nepotism.
No nepotism. He didn't totally get in just because we really, really, really like him.
Oh, by the way, Pernitas is under Lyra the Liar because it worked, I guess.
Yeah.
I
Because
really had to.
because he's a hand and he can play the lyre.
There we go. Perfect. Anyway, our boy Nakalavar, he has the power of the death dealing. He can control lethal dosages, more or less untouched, except we're going to scale down. Common theme with a lot of these guys and their powers, we're scaling them the fuck down.
Yep. There's no reason for them to be nearly as powerful, mostly because Soul Society itself is going to be going in with half a barrel. And they're kind of opportunists in this recontextualization. They're the only reason that they even struck. Actually, I think it was true, and the only reason that they struck to begin with was because Yawak was kicking around again. He finally reconstituted from the blood puddle that he was. But also because Soul Society was kind of at an all-time low in terms of power because of how many fucking natural disasters it just went through. So we're going to be keeping that, but also just scaling it to fucktilion because now there's only 6 of them, and 3 of them just died.
Yep.
Or 2 of them just died, 1 of them defected, and the 3rd one's about to die. So.
Yeah, so.
Opportunists.
Naklavar also is under Aquarius, the water bearer, which is fitting for him. It's one of the few fitting ones.
Yep.
That I got from the Zodiac. Bambietta Basterbine, the girl, the head of the Thought Squad.
Yes.
The one that people make a lot of porn of, like Candace, we'll get to.
Not enough. Never enough.
Not enough porn. Never enough porn. Bambietta is under the constellation of Draco, the dragon. Her power is just the same. It is the ability to infuse explosive bullshit into the fucking ether.
Yep.
Hooray. Again, she didn't really need to get scaled down too much.
But mostly because she really didn't do much to begin. Like, she literally participated, and she had, like, a couple of good fights, but, like, she got memed from orbit by her boss.
Well, actually, she got memed from orbit by Komamura.
Well, she got memed from orbit by Komamura, but, like, even though they, I think, were raised from the dead by Zombie Thought, they then got double memed once the second Oshwallen happened.
Yeah, that's true. Which we'll figure out.
Basically, nobody's getting out of this alive.
No. Candace Catnip, who is under the Cassiopeia, the queen.
Yep.
And her power is still the thunder. She makes lightning dew. Basby. He kind of has the thing going with Hoshwalt. That's why we're keeping him. He's under the sign of Leo the Lion and still has the power of the heat, except again, fucking turn the hell down.
Yeah, like Burner Finger 3 should probably be the highest he goes in terms of power.
Yeah.
Like, Burner Finger 5 should be where Burner Finger 3 stops.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fuck him. Again, just toning everything the fuck down.
All right. Then we have BG9, who is a robot man with a robot plan. He's here to fill space.
He's here to fill space, and it's going to be even worse because he had a major interaction, and as a matter of fact, one of the only major interactions that anybody ever had with Omaeda. And Omaeda is now face down in a ditch, and so's the little girl that BG9 was supposed to be, leveraging.
Yep.
So we're going to have to rewrite that, and I don't care enough to talk about it right now.
Yep. He's under Cancer the Crab because armor. And his power, he didn't have an actual shrift name because Kubo didn't fucking care. So I just made up one. He's the weaponized.
Because he's got a big, being a robot, meaty claw.
And instead of being a fucking robot, he's a man who becomes a robot. All of some Power Rangers bullshit, I guess. I honestly hate the... Like, I really love Soul Society characters, and I really love the Arrancars. I don't care about half these guys, so we're kind of just blasting through them.
Yep.
just for our own sake, just so no one says, well, why are all those Star Raiders gone? This is why, because we hate them all. Just the ones we need.
Look, to really understand the depths of our hatred, you really had to have been there during our rewrite. Because boy, did we get some pants on head interactions between pretty much everybody present.
Oh, you mean the reread or
The reread? Yeah, I meant the reread. Did I say rewrite?
yeah, you said reread.
Oh.
But that's 61.
Because who boy, that was painful to read, and not just because that thing is like 300 fucking chapters long. Jesus Christ. Just because like holy Christ, there was a whole lot of nothing followed by some bullshit that made me want to kill myself, followed by a whole lot of nothing, and then interspersed in between all of that was like, oh hey, an actually good character. Wow, what a concept.
Like Noklavar.
Like Noglafar and Kurige which we're gonna get to.
We'll get to Kirige.
Ooh.
It's not even Kirige fault. It's not even because of how Kubo wrote Kirige that we like him. It's entirely memes, but I'm willing to keep him on memes alone.
I'm willing to keep him on memes alone just because I love everybody's favorite little Nazi. The little Nazi that could.
He's just a Nazi. Anyway.
He's a Nazi trying his goddamn best, and by God, I'll let him.
He's fucking trying, man. All right. Then we go into Robert Accutrone, who I barely knew his name until recently because I just called him Gun Grandpa. He has a really cool design. Shame he didn't fucking do anything.
Yeah, I was actually about to say when we were going to segue into him, you probably, folks at home, you probably don't even know who the fuck that is, and you would be right. You don't know who the fuck that is, because Kubo doesn't know who the fuck that is.
He's Gun Grandpa. He's just a grandpa with a gun.
He's an old guy with a Glock in a war between ancient civilizations that have seen fucking mountains rise and fall.
I thought you were going to say between fucking gods of death and Nazi angels, but yeah.
Gods of death and Nazi angels, that's true. But, just Gun Grandpa. He's got a gun. That's his power. He shot out Shunsui's eye.
That's the only thing he ever did.
Yep.
So we're going to be expanding his purpose in the rewrite. But if we didn't already say it before, the Blood War arc is going to be the most butchered of all the arcs. It's going to be utterly unlike anything it was before.
Yeah. It's kind of going to be actually backloaded, if I remember correctly.
Kind of, yeah.
Because in I don't know how do I describe the original Blood War arc? It was kind of front loaded, and then a lull in the middle as we have everybody's little spa arc back in the 0th Division quarters, and then it was backloaded until it very, very, very wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Abruptly so.
Until the story fucking got swept off arm under the rug.
Yep. And basically what we're gonna be doing with it is it's gonna be a little bit front loaded, like the tiniest little bit, gonna be a lot of action. And Trevor, are we still gonna be keeping 0th Division as a concept, or
No?
Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, we're just gonna segue, but maybe there's a little bit of a recuperation arc in the middle, to kind of fill that same void, just so we all have a breather.
I think what we decided was that the hot springs are just in the fucking 4th Division barracks.
Yeah. I think
or whatever division they are now, the 3rd Division.
Whatever. But then it's going to be very minorly front loaded, then the recuperation arc, then really back loaded. Because 90% of the action, the good action, is going to be happening pretty much tail that.
Yeah. So kind of the same, but not nearly as fucking convoluted.
And remember the concept I said, I think it was like an episode, or was it 2 episodes by now? We're basically nickel and diming the series from the start. in that because we deleted this character, that frees up part of this chapter or this entire chapter, and because we deleted that character or we changed this character, that frees up that chapter, and so on and so forth, arc by arc, saga by saga, until we get to the end. And all of that back pay that we're getting, we now have, I would estimate at the very least, 100 extra chapters of space.
Yep. That were just wasted before.
That were just wasted before because they're going to characters that nobody ended up liking, and they were expanding concepts that Kubo never actually paid off on. And to arcs that are only going to be fundamentally rewritten and probably even written out, depending on how we actually finally go about doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of wiggle room, completely dedicated to the Blood War arc, which is actually going to be funny in the effect that it's probably going to extend the Blood War arc even longer than it already was.
Yeah. But hey.
Or who knows, maybe we can use some of that space to expand on the Fullbring arc. Actually, no, that reminds me. We do have a entirely brand new arc.
Yeah, but the characters don't really change in that. Okay, brief intermission. How we're reorganizing the Fullbringers? We're not, except fucking kinda. How do I say it? Tsukishima and Ginjo are over here. They bring Game Boy Kid and the other generic losers I can't even be bothered to remember. And then Chad's over here with Riruka, and they pull a favor from Tatsuki Hime and maybe like Renji and Rukia, but Ichigo doesn't even want to be fucking involved with that.
Actually, I didn't think that's what I was talking about.
Oh, what were you talking about?
I was talking about the debugging of Soul Society.
Oh, well, we'll get into that. That's arc by arc, man.
Oh, no. That's what I was saying. Is like that's an entirely new arc that did not exist in the base material.
Oh, yeah.
That we can use some of these back pay chapters to actually address.
All right. Well, I'm glad I went on a tangent for nothing, but yes.
Yep, you did, because once again, we need to define our terms. Anyway, Gun Grandpa. He's Grandpa with a gun. We're gonna be using him more.
Remember that dumb owl guy who was the X-axis, and I hated him, and you probably hated him. He's dying, but the part of his power that wasn't stupid is going to Gun Grandpa.
Yep. He had the power of the X-axis, where he was able to pierce anything to hit his target. And that's really cool. And guess what other person in this group has a gun? Gun Grandpa.
Yay.
Bye, Owlman.
And his constellation is Cygnus the Swan, but it's also, more specifically, the part of the constellation known as the Northern Cross. Get it? X-axis? All right.
All right, cool. I'm glad that you've just undermined our abilities as rioters. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on. Karageope, everybody's favorite little Nazi that could. And once again, this is going to be an example of pure nepotism, because again, he shouldn't, by rights, he shouldn't be here. Because I think in any other context, he'd be a really annoying character. But we had so much fun with him during that reread that we're willing to keep him, basically just on meme power alone.
Yep.
Mostly because it's really fun to do a German accent for that guy.
We are the Stone Ritter. We'll always save the day. And if you think we can't...
9! Oh. Fun stuff. Anyway, he's Orion.
Yes, Orion the Hunter. Power the Jail. Asnot, also known as Ass Noodle. He's represented by Scorpio the Scorpion. His power is the Fear, mostly unchanged.
It's because we're afraid of scorpions. At least I am.
You're scary. And the only other surviving member of Thought Squad, Giselle, who's represented by Virgo the Virgin, and her power is the zombie. She makes zombies. Hooray.
I'm going to put that theory to the test. I'm going to slide a scorpion under Trevor's door tonight.
Don't?
Too late, he's already in there.
Well, I guess I'm just gonna pour bleach down my stairs because I know where my door is.
What you didn't know is that bleach doesn't affect scorpions. Little known fact.
Really?
I have no idea.
You mean
I have no fucking
I think
clue.
we're losing our minds. Let's try to wrap this up with our last few points here.
Whew.
Okay, so the only other thing that we really need to go in with this is that there's a slight restructuring of how the power structure of fucking Sternritters works, where they're basically divided into 4 groups of 3, being kind of the heavy attacking squad made of Bambietta, Candace, Basby, and BG9. Kind of your support squad made up by Robert Acutron, Kirgeopi, Asnot, and Giselle. And then you have Yawok's royal retainers, being Pernitas, Hoshwolf, Uryu slash Gerard Valkyrie, and Nakamar, our boy, our son.
And you divided those into groups with purposes.
Yes. So basically, this is more of an organizational thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the heavy combat team is mostly there to do as much damage as possible. They're all very skilled at doing collateral damage. They're very destructive in their power. They're good at fighting. They're on the front lines. The other team made up of Robert Acutron, Kirgeopi, Asnot, and Giselle is kind of more of the support team, and they're there to deal with problems.
Yep, they're there to act as jammers and support to the first wave, and basically general mop up.
Yep. So Giselle's there to make as many zombies of fallen soldiers as she can. Robert Acutron is sent to directly attack the Captain Commander because he's a threat. Asnot is meant to deal with any problem people probably probably put him up against Mayuri in the first wave.
Yeah.
Or still Byakuya. I don't know. I haven't decided.
Something like that.
And then send Kirgeopi to deal with Ichigo, so that fight's more or less preserved.
Mm-hmm.
Even though in this new context, there's no point to sending Kirgeopi to deal with Ichigo. But we'll get that another time.
We'll get that, and then you'll see the true depths of our depravity and what we're willing to go to, what lengths we're willing to go to get those sweet drama points.
Sweet drama points. And then the royal retainers are again all people who are within Yawok's central court. They are the high military commanders. They are in charge when Yawok isn't in the room.
Yep.
So like Uryu gets into this spot basically through winning Yawok over. Gerard Valkyrie used to be in this spot. Jugrim Hoshwolf is literally Yawok's second in command. Pernitas is a hand made of a god. So where else would you put it? And Naklavar, much like how we got into this rewrite, is in this cavalcade of people through sheer nepotism. His daddy gave him the spot.
Because can't keep a good kid down.
Just can't do it.
And boy, does he work hard. He's
and
got the glutes of a fucking marathon runner, and he puts that to good use.
At being a huge coward.
It takes a lot of courage to be a huge coward.
And I think the only thing we haven't really touched on, and I forgot to put it in our pre-notes, so it's going to go horribly, is Yawok.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up if you weren't. We made some pretty slight changes. All things considered, because technically that is how he was supposed to operate in the actual canon. It's just we never got that. it was never actually shown to us, so it was more of an implied thing. But basically, we're changing it to where Yawok is incredibly powerful, like he was before, but not nearly the ceiling that he had, like just naturally. Like you during the last battle, he basically used none of his power that he got from that last Oshwallen. And more or less was just using his basic power set and was still able to meme literally everybody in the room because his basic power set is so fucking huge. So we're going to be changing that a little bit. And basically, we're going to play up the fact that he is not powerful on his own. Or rather, he cannot grow. He cannot grow as a fighter or a ability user. He is basically deadlocked into the numbers and abilities that he has at any given time, and he has to specifically gift these abilities to other people. And then if he wants that ability to grow, he has to give it to someone else. They get to cultivate it, and then he can bring it back to himself. But he also has to kill his fighter in the process. Somebody who actually knows his power far more than he ever could, because they're the ones that created it, more or less. So for the more or less final battle, or more or less as the series goes on, he's going to be basically getting powers back. So like, as soon as anybody kills, say, let's see, I was gonna say Basby, but let's see, what's another? Bambietta. Let's say somebody kills Bambietta pretty early on. He gets the power of the explosion back, as she had it when she died. So he gains her numbers and her ability, but he has none of the know-how because he's not omniscient as he was. Because fuck omniscience as a villain ability. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck that and fuck you. So if he were to be immediately beset upon and the only ability he had was the explosion, you could probably kill Yawok if you had enough captains with you. But the thing is the rest of the Sternritter don't have multiple abilities. They have the one that was inscribed to them by Yawok. And by the end game, his end game, the reason that he is a threat is he has all 12 or 11, however many we have. He has all of the abilities that we have seen up till now at the strength that they were when they were killed. Probably sans Jugrim because... No, not Jugrim. Gerard. Yeah. The other J. Probably sans that one just because fuck that.
Well, also because that power went to Uryu, so.
Oh yeah, and he would still be alive. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's a good reason that we did that. Because fuck that. Anyway, so yeah, you would have all of them by the final battle. And he would just be able to meme anybody in the room because while he's doing burner fingers, he's also exploding his dick at them and exuding a fear aura and shooting people in the heart from across the room. And
while also making them deathly allergic to air.
While also making them deathly allergic. Except he probably can't do exactly that scenario because he doesn't know each individual power as the person he inherited it from. So he could probably do one at a time. It's just the reason he's dangerous is he can do all of them. And you don't know which one he's doing at any given time because he's not going to announce it because he's not an idiot. At least we're not going to write him as an idiot.
And he would probably not have a full understanding of the power. Like maybe he would, like he probably wouldn't have a deep sit down with Noklavar as to exactly how the death dealing works. So he would probably just, like, his eyes would just glaze over and said, so you poison him, right? Well, not exactly. Okay, well, you poison him.
Sir, I
totally missed the point.
Sir, I don't think you quite understand the ability that you gave me. You're right, I don't. That's why I pay you for.
what I pay you for. Yeah.
But yeah, again, it's not going to be, oh, I see literally all timelines at any given point, and I can just freely move to the timeline where I win, and blah, de blah, de blah, de blah, because, boy, I hate that.
Yep.
Boy,
Fuck
I
that.
hate that. Shit's gay. Anyway, but yeah, that's gonna be Yawak, and we're gonna play up his I guess for lack of a better term, his humanity that he didn't really display, but like we need something, goddammit. Because who boy?
Yeah. Oof. Big oofs on a lot of this stuff, man.
Big oops on a lot of stuff because like Jesus Christ, Yawak is kind of indicative of literally everything wrong with the Bleach power scaling.
Yep.
Because he's more or less just more shades of Aizen,
But
uh,
worse.
except worse, and Aizen is just more shades of the entirety of Soul Society, been back when they were the main villains, because it was just progressively more numbers on top of more numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was much more creative back in Soul Society, because he was going up against one guy with a neat power and then another guy with a neat power. And then they kind of had to use those powers instead of just go like, well, I'm just going to face tank this right now and then fuck you in the ass with this cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're killing half the cast, to avoid as much of that as possible. And
Yep.
basically leaving the cream.
Leaving the good shit. The reason people actually like Bleach. Or at least the reason I hope people like Bleach.
Why do people watch this?
I don't know.
What got
Why
you
did
into
we subject ourselves to this?
Yeah, why did you get into Bleach?
Would you believe it was because of weeb girls at my high school and I wanted to fit in?
Yeah, I believe that. I got into it because it was just another manga to read at the time.
If I didn't have super huge access to the interweebs, as you know, because of authoritarian parent. And yeah.
Yeah,
So
I actually had Shonen Jump. I had like a year subscription to Shonen Jump, so I got quite a few issues with that. And I think, God, I'm trying to remember all the way back because I think that's where I started reading Bleach, and then I decided to follow it up by reading it at the library or some shit like that.
mm,
I forget. Shit's
but
fucked.
I basically I my internet access was basically limited to what I can reasonably do when I'm home alone, which wasn't very often. It was basically like a half hour after school and whenever I had a day off in school. So I had a girlfriend and she liked Bleach. And I said, well, I might as well take a look at it. I've certainly heard of it. The only episode I ever seen of Bleach is one from one of the fucking really bad filler arcs.
Oh no.
And I said, well, screw it. Why not? I'll give it a watch. And I spent an entire summer catching up to where it was airing in on Toonami. Or not Toonami. Where was it Toonami?
I think it was Tanami. Yeah. Did you get into it like post
I, I,
2011 or
I,
something like that?
it was post 2011. So it was actually on Adult Swim at the time.
Yeah.
Either way, at once I had caught up, I basically just watched it until it finished with the Soul Society arc. I think I switched to Japanese at this point and either finished. No, I stopped pretty much at the end of the Soul Society arc because I couldn't be asked about the Fullbringer arc.
Yeah.
And then I read the Blood War arc as it came out, and I went back to read the Fullbringer arc.
Yeah, I more or less because I was keeping up with it like as it came out. I got to see the. I think I started. I think I caught up with what was current in the manga by the time that Hueco Mundo was ending and the proper Eisen arc was beginning with Fate Karakura Town. And
Mhm.
then I powered through it week by week, all the way through the end, and then all the way through the Fullbringer arc as that happened. And then the small break before the Blood War arc, and then shit just progressively went downhill. And oh boy, that was because that didn't age bad, and I always realized it was kind of trash as an arc. And then we suddenly got the idea to reread it, like a year and a half ago or something like that. And then with fresh new eyes on this shit pile, we got to see the depths of his sins.
We like this anime
We like it.
manga. Whatever. But we've gone really off track to talk about this, but we pretty much said everything we wanted to say about the Stern Ritters. Just enough to give context to when we're talking about them at the end game of this ongoing series we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are probably good, and I think we are losing our minds. This would be a good chance to end this recording
Yeah.
session.
What are we doing next episode?
I think we have completely finished laying the groundwork. I think we are actually ready to start into the proper arc by arc breakdown.
Okay, and the first proper arc would be from the very beginning to about when Rukia gets kidnapped.
Yeah, that's a good cutoff point.
The initial like Karakura Town saga.
Yeah, the Karakura Town arc, it's gonna have a lot more going on because we're gonna establish Uryu, we gotta establish Shad.
Yeah, one of the trends, one of the trends that we're kind of having a through line for this whole series is, and really the only time it breaks down is for the Blood War arc, and
Yeah.
even then, kind of a little bit, but anyway, is faction warfare, and faction interaction. Say that 5 times fast.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so everything is just going to be broken down into factions and cliques. So even from the very beginning, we're going to be having Ichigo and Uryu in his own little one-man faction, and then Chad with him and the Fullbringers, but less the Fullbringers because they're not established too much yet. But just this little trio, this little rock paper scissors we got going on right now.
Yep. But we will talk more about that in the next episode.
Next episode of Dragon Ball Z, we begin our arc by arc breakdown, starting from the very beginning. And that's when we actually just die.
Yep.
So I guess we'll see you then.